Outdoor service owners, rise and shine. It's time to start fueling your success one adventure at a time. Welcome back to Outdoorsy Entrepreneur, brought to you by House Call Pro, where business owners come to explore ways to take charge and level up. We are your hosts. I'm Kevin Fontaine, and this is my brother from another mother, Patrick Harders. Join us on a journey every Wednesday. Like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and listen to wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. Patrick, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Doing wonderful. Getting ready for the weekend, so always excited.
Love the weekends, man. It's what business owners crave
It
each
is.
week.
It is. Yeah, I'm actually traveling with my son wrestling this weekend, so that's always a fun thing to hit some wrestling tournaments and do that.
Yeah, he
activity.
does. You're showing me that creepy crawly shit he does. He bends over backwards and crawls on his fours.
Yeah.
What do they call that?
It's body leveraging. So
Okay.
it's building up your core, getting strong.
That
tough.
is insane, man, to bend like that and then start crawling upside
pull
down.
yourself back up and
God.
miss those days, huh? When
Wow.
you're young and can do stuff.
We need to learn those for the bedroom, maybe. I don't know. But anyway. So, today we want to talk a little bit about SOPs. And that's a standard operating procedure. And as you grow your business, you'll want to implement more and more standardizations, which is your own internal process. So everyone in your company can learn and follow these. And that way it's more consistent and it becomes a standard within your organization. And this is from anything you do as a service. You want to create a standard way to do it. Therefore, you can slowly pull yourself out of that equation. And, it's all about training people.
It is. And I think this is the most challenging thing for any business owner.
Yeah.
I hate it personally. It's, people, processes, products, like what are you actually delivering? And we tend to be really good on product. We could do whatever we do well. We could then bring in some people around us. But, the idea of setting up the process, I didn't have a process. I didn't have training. I didn't have any of that.
Right.
And having somebody that you're trying to bring along to do it the way you do it, it's just hard. It's very hard for me because I'm like, just do it. It's not hard. Like, figure it out. It's like, I've said that so many times, and then I'll just throw people, trial by fire and say, figure it out real quick. And if someone's smart enough, they can, but you could burn through a lot of people that,
right. And so, this consistency that you're trying to create in your company, it can be at the beginning, something very simple, like a Word doc, just write down some things. I'm going to pull up on the screen here. This is when we first got started at our landscaping company. We started just jotting down what normally happens on this specific task. And this is an example of a weekly maintenance visit, right? For lawn mowing, lawn care applications type thing. But, safety first, right? So arriving on site, got the cone there, park the truck in a safe location, yada, yada. Another thing that was big was pre-site inspection. Make sure there's no fallen hazardous things in the way, yada, yada. So you just list out what you think your service entails. Use pictures because pictures help visualize people more than reading. And then just go step by step what you expect from each facet of your particular service. And then if we go to here, this is an actual template, which we'll make available in the description below that you can use. This is more of a formal template of how to write an official SOP. It's the who, what, and why, right? So why are you creating this, and who and what does it entail for it to be about? So very formal. You don't have to start out like this, but this will give you the consistency of what goes into that. Now, process steps, these are the steps in that function that you're trying to standardize. And it goes into your resources. Sometimes you're getting a resource from an official legal entry. So put anything which may be a resource where they can further look to have, say it's a video on YouTube. You can enter that link here. So that's just a brief overview of starting to document and create that process and procedure.
And a lot of times we don't do it because it's like myself and a guy, or three of us out there. We know each other. The expectation is there because I'm there all the time, and I'm like, why am I going to create this whole process and go through the whole thing when I'm there all the time? But
Yeah.
you have to start building it up, because if you don't, you start building bad habits in people, and then correcting is much harder than teaching the first time. So if you could do it early on, and you start setting that culture of like, this is the way we do things. But I think one of the things that I find so surprising is you have to teach everything. Like I have to go through like, what happens when you arrive on the job? Well, you get out of your truck and you go greet the customer. You don't spend 10 minutes on your phone. That should be
Right.
already prepped. You ring the doorbell. When you shake their hand, you take your glove off. Like you don't shake with your dirty glove.
Right.
Yeah, all those kind of things. So
Yeah.
those are the little things. Or closing all your trucks up. I've gone out to so many jobs and I see my guys with all the doors on the van open. It looks like crap. It doesn't look clean and consistent. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like
I
second nature to us.
should be in your forefront, whether it's safety vest,
Mm-hmm.
the clothing you guys wear. I remember back in the day cafe when we first got started, we had a shit hard time trying to get our guys to wear safety vests.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, we're going to we're going to get new uniforms that have that ugly orange built in them.
Orange. Yeah. Looks like a hunter.
So yeah, the hunter orange, safety orange, and they looked like hell, but they were universally acceptable
Yep.
safety prevention items. So we were like, heck yeah, let's do that. So, you know, especially in landscaping, Pat, everybody wants to wear Carhartt and brown
Yeah.
and
Hoodies and
camouflage.
yeah.
But see, you'll get hit by a car wearing camouflage. So we always made it a point to wear high vis stuff, whether it's
Yep.
yellow, green, or orange,
We were actually going through this week with my team, and I was talking about a study that I saw where they had a company show up wearing just like crap. They had hoodies on, they had dirty jeans. They did the job,
Yeah.
finished up. Then they had another crew come out, and they went to another house, and they dressed in uniforms. They looked professional, trucks were polished.
Yeah.
And they found that they had a lot more complaints from customers from the dirty looking crew, even though they did the same, the work was the same. But when the customer finds one problem, they start looking for more. And the more professional you look, the more organized you look, the cleaner you look, they assume you're better. And so
That's right.
it's an easy thing to do, but that's huge.
It's huge. And customers, like we mention all the time, they're looking out their windows at you when you
Yeah.
soon arrive.
The Ring camera.
Yeah, the cameras, they may be
Yeah.
in Japan and still seeing your butt move around,
Yeah.
like scratching your head. What do we do today? And
Have you ever had one talk to you while you're
yeah,
working? All of a sudden it's like, hey, Pat, like, the hell is
yeah,
that? Where'd that come
that's a
from? It's like,
damn mind
see,
F.
yeah,
But so they see how well processed you guys are as soon as you get there.
yeah,
And putting those safety cones out, being very vigilant is super important for people because safety first. It's important for everybody. And you don't want to get your guys hurt. So
yeah.
safety first. Put that in your process, and then when you're looking at developing processes, get a small group together and discuss the
Mhm.
current process. Where's it at? And what are the issues? What are the bullet holes in it? Talk about how you're going to improve on that process and make it a standard, and
Mhm.
then get you yourself, an office person, a manager together. And then when you go to document this, which is the next phase, you go to the project, go outside the shop, wherever, and say it's lawn mowing.
Mhm.
Have someone start mowing and have a couple people in the background taking notes. Now, what's really important is you need someone there that doesn't know how to do that service. Why? Because they need to ask questions of the person doing the service in front of you guys. So they're going
Yeah.
to ask that person, why did you just do that? Why did you
Mhm.
turn around and pull back and then go down the stripe lane?
Yeah.
So that's crucial because you're going to pull out these elements of someone that's going to come to your company eventually not knowing anything of how to use that lawnmower. So it's very important that you put the dummy stuff in there as well as the high end, high level stuff that you've already known, right? I think the problem, Pat, with us is we as owners expect people to know where the choke is and
Yeah.
how not to flood it
Yeah.
and yada yada.
And the
So
pattern you're cutting in or whatever, all the little details. I think a tool that's underused, and especially if you're just getting started, is have someone record what you're doing.
excellent.
And then you could always go back and watch that and explain it. And I also think that weekly meeting is an important thing to get on a schedule pace where it's like, hey, every Monday morning at 8 o'clock, I'll get you guys breakfast. We'll go through, and you could go through it, because otherwise you're just assuming they're doing it the way you would do it. And, nobody ever cares as much as the owner does, first of all. But
Mhm.
then, you got to ingrain that into people to say, like, they take ownership of this project and this job and they're doing it to your standard. But, if you're not good at diagramming it all out, record it, and then you can work with somebody to put it down into paper.
Love it. And so what we started to do too was we created QR codes and we made weatherproof stickers. We'd
Mm-hmm.
put them on a mower, we'd put them on the blade sharpener. So that way, if someone forgot a section of an SOP
Mm-hmm.
process, you could scan it, watch a video that we would put on YouTube. Big dog in the house.
There's my big girl.
Yeah, and, so that way you can have these nice hidden videos on your YouTube channel where people can watch training videos on, because everybody loves to watch videos on YouTube to learn
Yeah.
something, right?
Well,
So
also you're dealing with, typically the guys that we're working with didn't like school much. So to go like, hey, here's a 64-page document. Yeah, 64-page document to sit there and read. Now, like, you and I, it's like we've gone back and like love to learn now. I do audiobooks and all that crap, but like, my average guy coming in isn't coming in to get like here's a full training manual, here's everything you need to know on it, read through it, memorize it. They get to page 2 and they forget. And I've got, one guy that I've trained everything on video because he could remember every movie, but you ask him about the conversation yesterday and he forgot what we spoke about. So it's like,
right.
like those videos help ingrain because they've watched it. And if you can make it short and concise and to the point, and here's what we do. But I love your idea with the QR code.
Oh, yeah, it's that was a big win. People
How'd
get
you do that?
distracted. How'd we do what?
How'd you get the QR code set up? You want
Oh,
to
you
go
just
through
go to
that?
QR Code Monkey and enter your YouTube video, and it spits out that picture code and download it
Yeah.
and then get them printed.
Yep.
Because,
So,
people get distracted, they forget steps, and it's a great reference point to like, bam, I got it. Now,
yeah.
when you are thinking about processes to standardize, start with a basic template of the
Mhm.
processes. And then as you grow as a company, it gets more and more valuable to create that formal SOP because we deal in very hazardous work. Patrick, your guys are up in trees.
Yeah.
We're running mowers with an RPM blade going about 1,000 miles an hour. You can cut things off pretty easily. Tree
Yeah.
trimmers out there, that's super dangerous work. Anything with motors is dangerous. Driving trucks
Even the
is
whole
dangerous.
pesticide, you could get in so
Oh
much
my
trouble.
gosh.
I mean, I've heard of companies that get hundreds of thousands of dollars of fines for an employee dumping a chemical in the wrong spot. And,
Yeah.
a friend of mine owns, my business partner in Sterling, he owns a mosquito control company. So they did body cams on everybody. They did cameras in the car facing both ways, and it
Yeah.
can feel oppressive to the employee. Like, why am I wearing a body cam? But it's come in handy so many times when it's like customers like, hey, nobody came by today. And it's
Right.
like, let me send you the footage.
Yeah.
Um,
So guys, we're dealing with hazardous chemicals, fuel, etc.
mhm.
If we get hit with you can get hit with major fines
Yeah.
from these legal binding
Or OSHA coming. We've had
OSHA.
OSHA stop by our jobs, and
Yeah.
that's like, hey, that's 15 grand right there, which that can hurt a month pretty quickly. And it's
Yeah.
not, you don't get an option to pay it on a plan. It's like, that's due today.
Exactly. So we got to protect our wallets, protect our insurance coverages,
Yeah.
workman's comp, et cetera, because premiums will go through the roof if you start getting hit with things. Something as simple as truck use. How do you use a
Mhm.
truck? You'd think you wouldn't have to make a procedure with that, but guess what? The more
Yep.
people you start adding, Jimmy Jojo, who's just turned 18, takes your new dually for a spin and wrecks it. We've had
Yeah.
guys literally run out of gas in our diesel dump trucks before.
Ah.
How does
Well,
that happen?
the other thing is you also have to protect yourself against the bad employee. I mean, there are guys out there that are just kind of system guys where,
Mhm.
they're looking for an opportunity to cause trouble. And, they'll threaten a lawsuit, pay them 10 grand, they go away.
Yeah.
But you need to, safety inspections on your trucks to make sure you have the equipment, make sure you have fire extinguishers, the gas cans you're using.
Yeah.
All of that can protect you as the business owner. But we overlook it because, we're nice people. We assume everybody we work with is going to be nice. We assume people are going to be smart and do the right thing, and that's not always the case.
Yeah. So when you consider an SOP to create, they do take time and resources. So,
Yeah.
especially to train and implement and sustain. So start with your most important process or service first,
Mm-hmm.
and then go one by one on creating a new one, because they do take time to implement and get out there, populate that SOP, print it. Everybody gets a copy.
Yeah.
Have a good meeting day. So, like every monthly meeting, Pat, I don't know how often you guys have meetings, but
We do 2 a week.
2 week. Wow. We used to do pep talk foreman meetings once a week, and then
Yeah.
monthly main meetings.
Yeah.
But go over that process, show them, go out in the yard, show that new process to all the staff that is going to be doing it. Hell, even office staff needs to know, because that helps the whole company.
Oh yeah, how they
And
answer the phone. That's a procedure with like, what do you say here?
Mhm.
What do customer calls and you're getting that same question. Once that question's coming in 2 or 3 times, it's got to become a standardized process.
Yeah.
The other thing that we don't do is visiting other locations. So,
Mhm.
I think we all want to learn the hard way by making mistakes, make it again, make it 3, 4, 5 times, then we finally learn. And so it takes 10 years for us to really figure out what we're doing.
Right.
And you could shortcut a lot of that by, doing courses like this, or, just visiting people, calling up somebody. And it's amazing, entrepreneurs know how difficult it is. And a lot of people are just willing to help others. So that's
Yeah.
a huge thing. It's like, you watch somebody do something, you're like, oh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. I could have saved so much time and effort by somebody who's been around for 10 years or 20 years doing it.
Have someone in charge of this process. Maybe have a manager. We used to have a safety manager. So that
Mm-hmm.
was his job, to create the SOP formally and then distribute it and train. But
Yeah.
it provides a consistency that communicates your procedure amongst all staff. So no matter if someone's a newbie, a greenhorn, they're going to be following and trained on that process. So it'll improve your overall quality. It'll improve
Yeah.
safety. Customers will react to it better. They'll feel that you guys are more professional. You'll get higher ratings through reviews. You get
Yeah.
more renewals. So it's just a snowball of how awesome SOPs are for the company.
Yeah. So let's say you had a guy out there they're a landscaper, they're just getting started, they're in their first, second year, it's them, maybe another guy helping them. How would you get started? What would be your first SOP you'd tackle?
Definitely your most used service. So we mowed a lot of lawns.
Yeah.
And, like this weekly itinerary for our visiting was kind of our first step of what should a crew do every time they get to a property. And we just
Yep.
got feedback from them. We had their inputs. We went back and forth. We worked out the kinks. That's another thing about SOPs. You're going to evolve these too,
Yeah.
technology changes, etc. But the main thing about SOPs, which we haven't touched on a little bit too much yet, is look at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mary Jane comes in. She's 16. They're still producing a double cheeseburger that kicks ass. Every time you go to a McDonald's, it tastes the
Yeah.
same. But they're getting these snot-nosed high schoolers in there
Yeah.
that don't know how to tie their shoes, but
Mm-hmm.
yet they can continue to put out a great quality product. I don't know about great, but
Yeah.
a quality, consistent product.
They could do a consistent product.
They do make good fries. And
Yeah.
when I'm hungover, a double cheeseburger, oh, that
There's about
greasy.
twice a year I'll go in and be like, I'm just craving that, 99-cent double cheeseburger. I'll get like two of them. And
The McDevil,
but
baby.
you feel like shit as soon as you're done eating. You're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that.
Oh, I know.
But
It sits in your gut like a rock.
yeah. Yeah. Every once in a while, though, there's just a craving for it.
Yeah. So start somewhere, even if it's just simple bullet points at the beginning, and then evolve it into a very standardized procedure that's very formal. This one happens to be on employee onboarding. And this
Yeah.
thing goes so deep, Pat. That's what she said.
Nice beaver.
That look at this end goal here. This even shoots out an email sample of what to say about that first employee recognition of them coming in. This gives them a baseline. This will all be on the master class. We are so excited to launch this summer. But, and it shows you the orientation, the Nexus training and goals, the feedback and the support. So these are crucial and they're very detailed. They can be very detailed as your company scales and gets 50 employees like we had. Yeah. This is crucial to that consistent product that you're going to be putting forth to all your awesome clients. So that's just, but start somewhere and get at least bullet points, start putting pictures, start putting videos. They don't have to be your videos. All these manufacturers have their own safety training videos like Toro, Rainbird. We used to watch videos from them when we got started, and then we started creating our own personal videos that exactly how we like to do it.
So my favorite onboarding story that we had, I had a new guy come in and I'm like, and excited. I try and do something special for him, give him the shirts and the hats, welcome to the team. So I was like, hey, where's Joe or whatever? And my office manager, she's funny. She's like, oh, I have him scrubbing all the toilets. I'm like, what? Yes. Like, day one, first 10 minutes on the job, I go into the bathroom. He's got rubber gloves on and he's scrubbing all the toilets.
What's up, like, Joe?
Well, that guy's not going to last long. He's quitting today. You. Oh, I was like, could we be more demeaning to somebody than to go like, hey, scrub the toilets that you've never used? So that was obviously when we weren't following a procedure at all and going, just do it. Do it. It comes natural. Let's throw them into the worst jobs possible, which is I think, terrible.
And this gets into job descriptions, but when you start throwing side jobs to people and they're like, God, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing this ever. Yeah. And that definitely can throw a wrench into your culture and all that. I used to clean our bathrooms. We used to take turns in the office. We had a little sign-up sheet at the door that people took turn. The office manager, the account manager, my video editor, me. We were all in charge of doing it on a cycle. And it's all about owning up to, we're in this together. The bathroom's got to get clean. Nobody likes to
team building activity.
Nobody likes to
go clean up after John.
What do they call that thing? The shinola?
Yeah.
The porta john. What do they call that?
We finally
thrown.
Oh, the porta johns are nasty. Yeah, that's like emergency use only. Yeah. We ended up just splurging and going like, all right, we've done this long enough. Let's just hire a cleaning lady every 2 weeks to come and scrub everything down. Well,
you got the big bucks, so you can do that. I couldn't.
Yeah.
All right, so we touched on OSHA. You can meet legal requirements by creating a legally binding service that you make sure you're legally performing. Also, throw in the PPE required in your SOP. Show them what you need to be wearing that relates to that specific service. And then it actually is, Pat, a boost in morale. Employees respond well to owners taking the time to invest in their craft and how they train, so that's important. We touched on customers respond well because it's going to improve your quality and you're going to make more profit. We all want more profit. So,
well, you could charge more. I mean, it costs more to do all this because if you're just, some guy flying around on a lawnmower and, next guy comes out and it's hit or miss, you're never going to get the higher price projects, but if you could say with confidence, like every job that we do is going to be X, and if it's not your call, man, we're going to fix it. You know, that's what ultimately my customers, like one of my really good customers, like the reason I go with you is if there's a problem, I'm calling you and you better take care of it. And I'm like, got it. Yes, sir. I'm ready to go. Like, so
Johnny
it's
on
like,
the spot, baby.
yep. Otherwise, I'm not getting the money that I can get on a project. If I'm just going to fly through it or have some guys show up, sub out all the work and not manage the subs, that's another huge one that, you know, I when I was having my roof done, the subs were in my shed, like searching through my tools because I didn't have the right tools to use. I called the guy like, what the hell is this? If I'm paying a professional company, I don't want you to be borrowing my tools. Like, show up with the equipment. But
Yeah.
it's all subbed out and they didn't manage it. So,
Yeah. So, you know, get those SOPs rolling. You down
yeah.
with SOP? Yeah, you know me. It's important. Everybody has to do them.
It's painful.
It's painful, but you got to do it.
You got to do it. It's the part of the job that we overlook the most is setting up a procedure and a process on how something is going and then managing that. But that's where you're going from, you know, business owner, craftsman to the next level of, hey, I've got a team now and I've got to develop it. So it's not the skill set that, you know, we even thought we were getting into when we got into lighting. I just liked lighting. And
Right.
so that's why I started doing it. And all of a sudden now I've got a team doing it and I got to figure out like how am I going to ensure they do it my way? And, you know, my natural inclination is you guys should figure this out. It's not that difficult. I did, but that's not the way the world is. And that's not how I'm going to build a company.
Yeah. All right. Next is 4-letter words. What you got for a 4-letter word this week, Patty?
I'm going with give. You know, a lot of times the best team building projects, if we speak English here, best team building projects are when we're doing something, we're giving back. And, you know, we did one with Willing Warriors. That was a great project. We've got another one coming up with Manassas Battlefield where we're donating our time and our service. So, you know, the employees love it. The team loves it because we're doing something, we're giving back to the community.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
Those have actually been our best PR things as well. Like, you know, it's just that you have to be involved in your community for a small business. Yeah.
That's great social media content and team building activities.
Yep.
And that happens when you can make more money. You can, as you get more and more employees, those functions matter because you're developing a niche and a culture within your community. And what better way to nestle yourself and grow roots in your community than giving back with that? So it's, you know, pick a church that's looking a little dreary and say, knock on their door and say, hey, can we clean up your mow your yard here and throw some straw out or mulch?
Yeah, there's some great organizations, and that's it's a worthwhile thing. And it's something else that when you're talking to customers, it's an easy thing to drop in and go like, oh, by the way, did you see down the road this organization, our company works with them.
Right.
And they see you're not just a money grubbing piece of crap, that you're actually someone that is, you know, involved and looking to give back. And that comes back tenfold. Like, I think every time we've done it, you know, it's a cost and it's easy to say like, I don't have the time or the money or the energy to do that. But, you know, that's what helps, you know, grow your reputation in the community.
Yay. That's awesome. So that's great. So give whenever you can. That's also give people more training. That's give people a hug, Pat. I need a hug today.
I don't do that.
Some of your softies, give them a hug. Give them that reassurance.
Isn't it hard when you get that employee that just needs strokes all the time? You're like, ugh.
I know.
You're killing me.
Like every day, like,
yeah.
And you're like, oh no.
Do you?
Not again.
Yeah. How about your hug as a paycheck? Get to work. That's what you want to say.
That's what we think sometimes.
Yeah, that's what you think. Like, yeah, you're great. Go ahead.
It's Friday. Here's your checks. Later. I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode. Make sure you subscribe to Outdoorsy Entrepreneur, our YouTube channel, and hit the notifications and listen wherever you get your podcast. And follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. Level up your professionalism, reduce stress and workload in your business. No more paperwork. Check out House Call Pro, and Outdoorsy viewers receive a special introductory pricing. Check out the link in the description below. Big thanks to all the Outdoorsy small business owners out there who are trying to level up their business, trying to make it a difference, and pivoting. You know, we're going to pivot ourselves into a higher more profitable category, and that takes practice and virtue. And I know you guys have it. We all have it. And we're going to make mistakes, but don't worry. We're going to do this together. The end goal is to elevate ourselves into that niche and build a business that can function without us. It's a mindset change. And lucky you, we're going to create a outdoorsy entrepreneur mindset class this summer. So check out outdoorsyentrepreneur.com to be notified.
Kevin, we could also, and you use House Call Pro a lot, that you could put all your SOPs in House Call Pro so they could even show up to jobs and you got it all set up there for you. So you do it all electronically, not keeping a binder that's dusty in the office, correct?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, House Call Pro is a great thing with the SOPs. Maybe it's just a checklist that shows up in your service software, so that's excellent.
Yeah.
But refuel with us every Wednesday. We can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. Later, y'all.
See ya.
All aboard!